Hi everyone, today we're going to look at some commonly used words in the Chinese Mandarin language, and essentially something that you're likely to recognize as you're going through texts, because these are just quite common. And I suppose for beginners, we normally start with things like referring to oneself, for example, I, you, he, she, they, and so on, because these pronouns are the subject of many sentences. And it makes it easier to construct new sentences based on that. So we're going to have a look at those, and then some other parts of sentences that might be helpful. And hopefully this kind of gives a general idea of the basics that I'm currently going through. Right, so number one is, we're going to go with I, because, that's how you would refer to yourself. And it's this character, its pinyin is, as in the sound, is that. Let's go with that. So it's wa, and it's the third tone. If you remember from the last video, it starts really low in terms of pitch. It dips down further to kind of really low pitch, and then comes back up again a little bit. So it ends up sounding like wa. It should be noted, however, that that's kind of the standalone pronunciation of it. As you construct more sentences, and as you actually kind of speak at normal pace, you'll realize that this will get shorter. So it'll be something like wa rather than the full kind of length of the third tone. And this means I. Now, next one is this one, which is something that you will see again often, and it's you, which is ni. Again, third tone. The letters in pinyin are n and I, so it's quite reasonable, quite easy to get it right-ish, because in English we have these letters, so it's fine. And it's exactly the same as you would, use it in English to refer to the other person, so the person that you're talking to, for example. And let's go with then these two. Wait, how do I do /? Okay, never mind. Yeah. So this is interesting, because both he and she are pronounced exactly in the same way. It's T and A in pinyin with the first tone, ta, and in spoken Chinese, I guess they're not distinguishable. At least that's as far as I can understand at the moment. But in written Chinese, you can see that there are clear differences. This is he, this is she. And that is essentially going to cover quite a lot of subject words in Chinese. So we've got I, we've got you, he, she, which both sound like ta. Actually, it also sounds like ta, but it has a different character. Anyway, let's move on to 4, and that will be, let's go with this character. It's kind of like to be, because there is no direct equivalent of to be, because to be can also be used with like adjectives, like this book is interesting. Is basically to be, right? It's conjugation of to be. Whereas in Chinese, this only, like, there are many uses for this one, which is SHI with the fourth tone, 是, And there are many uses of that word and the character as well. And they're not all identical to the way we would use this in English. So for simplicity purposes, we'll just go with, if you're constructing a sentence where it's something like I am, and then you have like a noun following that. So basically a profession of sorts, I guess, that will describe what you do, like I am a student or I am a teacher, like occupation. You can also use 是 to add your name. So you could actually combine 1 and 2, and that will become something like, where should I add this? Let's go over here. So if you combine the first word and the fourth word, it becomes 我是. And then you could add your name, or you could add a noun that describes what you do. And that works for all of these. So you could combine number 2 and number 4, which will end up with 你是, or you could do 3 and 4. It becomes 他是, and then you do exactly the same. Either put a name or add a noun that describes their occupation. There are probably other uses as well, and I only know a few so far. So as I progress, I might need to revisit some of these videos. Right, let's go for hang on. This one. You'll see this a lot because of its overloaded use cases. A lot of the characters in Chinese are overloaded, meaning one character can do multiple things, can be part of different like sentence structures, I guess. I guess that also works in English as well, but it's just interesting to see how the overload works. And this one is the without any tone. So it's toneless, neutral, however you want to phrase that. Actually, it's normally denoted as 0, I think. So I'll leave it as 0. So it's consistent with others. And the great thing about this, well, one of the simple use cases of it is to just be like of something. Like when we say in English, my, we don't say I and then add something else. We actually use a different word. So it's my phone, right? Rather than I something phone, it's my phone. Whereas in Chinese, it's different. It's I, the, and then phone. So it becomes, if you combine number 1, which is I, and then you combine number 5, which is off, then that becomes basically my, which is kind of cool, because you don't need to learn new words. You use the same existing words and add more characters to then continue building that sentence. So 我的 is my, and you can exactly in the same way do this for the others. So that's yours. Nope. This one. And that's his. And that's her. And I think there's this one missing. 他是. And there are many other use cases for the, but we'll leave it at this simple one because it's really nice. It just uses these things that we already looked at and then just adds something extra to it. And let me just add translations as well. So this is I am, this is you are, he is, she is, followed by a noun though, not by an adjective. Because if you want to use an adjective, you need a different word, different character. So this is my, This is your, his, her. And then you can start combining these as well. So if we were to construct a sentence using all of these, I guess we're missing a noun, right? Because all of these sentences are likely to end with a noun. Let's go for friend, maybe, or is it? Let's go for phone. I quite like how the phone word is constructed using these two characters. So this is 手机. I think it's SHOU with the third tone, and then it's 机 first tone. That looks right. Any native speakers, please help. Yeah, if you find any mistakes, feel free to point them out, and I'll fix them in the comments, I guess. This is a mobile phone. So going back to how this word is constructed, there are two characters. The left character is hand, and the right character is machine. So it's a hand-held machine, I guess, which in turn means mobile phone, which is very similar to how many words are constructed in Chinese, which is great. Like, it's almost like taking different nouns and trying to see what the English word is that connects all of these nouns. It's a pretty fun exercise. So we can now construct sentences with this. Let's go for, well, I guess I am wouldn't work here, but you could say my phone. So you would combine my, is what the, and then 手机, that becomes my mobile phone or my cell phone. That's kind of it, I think, for now. Yeah, not going to go any deeper. Well, first of all, I can't go any deeper because I'm still studying, but I think this is a good recap of what can be used, or how basic sentence structures work in Chinese, and what kind of words you get to use, because these are going to be very commonly used. Like, you're going to see them often everywhere, not necessarily in the same meaning, because the meaning can change depending on how a particular word is used in a sentence and what kind of sentence structure is being used for that sentence. But at least you'll know what these characters sound like. Okay, on that note, we covered basic pronouns in Chinese and some basic sentence structures. Hopefully I can continue on and maybe start building up my knowledge of the language, which is actually quite interesting. I find it very fascinating. All right, on that note, see you next time. Bye-bye.